Let's take a look inside 3 different spelling curriculums, kind of compare some of the pros and cons, great things that I have learned from some of them, and yet chosen maybe a different one. I'm gonna save my favorite for last, but to hear about a lot of helpful tips and different things that are offered, make sure to watch the full video. At the homeschool convention that I went to this year, there was a lady there representing Demi Learning, which is who puts out Spelling You See. And I went to that session learning about different ways to teach your kids how to learn and the correct ways to teach them how to learn how to spell. And there were some amazing tips that I learned at that and that you can read about when you are digging into all about spelling. There is a section that really teaches you the philosophy of the education, and all of this information is in there. One of the things that Spelling You See believes is not giving your children a list of words, but putting the words in context. They say that our brains are designed to kind of let go of information that is more in a list format. Think about it when you go to the grocery store and you have a list. Your brain can contain that information for a while, but ask me next week what was on my shopping list last week and I'm not going to be able to tell you. That's the same approach here, but when you put it in context and you are chunking, then you will be able to visualize a lot better what's going on. So chunking is the main focus that you will see throughout all of the levels of Spelling You See. You're going to chunk your vowel couples, your consonant blends, and really you want to visualize, see there in front of you what the word looks like and be able to recognize it. Because it's visual, they do not want your child writing in cursive. Cursive is a different thing to work on later on, but because it is so much of like the appearance of it, they want only manuscript handwriting going on. That's just a side note. Now, a problem that I have with this curriculum then is that they really don't teach any spelling rules. They just say, this is the way the word is spelled, here it is, highlight these different things. I love that they highlight, you need to have a box of colored pencils that is designated for this curriculum because you're going to be highlighting specific colors for each group that you need to be doing. So it's very visual, but they kind of dismiss everything else. They just kind of have this expectation of, yep, English is messed up. There aren't really a lot of rules. The rules get confusing. Don't worry about it. Just see what is there, learn to do it the right way, learn to recognize it so that at least if you don't have the correct spelling, you can visualize when it's wrong, and then you can go to your phone and you can figure out how to spell it correctly. That doesn't work for me. I feel like that's very much almost how I was taught growing up. This is the word, this is what it is. Phonics sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, and then just know it or you're not gonna know it. I don't love that approach. It's designed to be done 5 days a week in about 10 minutes. That's awesome. I love that. There's a schedule to it. On the first day, your student is going to open up their workbook. They see on the left side what they are going to be writing on the right side. They've got their vowel chunks to highlight, their bossy R's that are in that phrase that they're going to be writing. And then on the right side, they are going to do copy work. And so that's all that they're doing for the first day. Then on the next day, they are doing their vowel chunks again, their bossy R chunks again, and this time there's a little bit more to write in that copy work. The next day, we've got the same thing again. The fourth day, you've got your vowel chunking, your bossy R chunking, and now you're drawing a picture and you get to be creative. You could write what's on the left page, but you can also write anything else. This is a no rules day, trying to give your kids a little bit more freedom there. But then on your 5th day, you are going to try to write it from memory. This is from dictation. So the parent is going to dictate it, the child is going to write it, and that is there. Once they have written it from the dictation, from memory, because by now, hopefully they have it memorized, at the bottom, you're going to fill in, I spelled blank words correctly. We're focusing on the correct, the positive reinforcement there. As it progresses, it's very much the same throughout the different levels, but you're gonna be on different topics. And level A right away is much simpler as well, and you're actually filling in the blocks that are designated for the letters, so it helps you kind of count how many letters should be in there as well. Book B is kind of Mother Goose stories or little poems. C is more nature, learning about animals. D has Americana, and so you're learning more about things around America. And I got a little sad here, honestly, because here we're going to be doing copy work about, I don't know, this one's a passport, the Liberty Bell, when Thomas Jefferson was president, and it tells you about that. What I would prefer to see would be great literature in here. I would love it if instead of telling me what the Declaration of Independence is about, if it would actually just have a part from the Declaration to copy. And so I feel like this is kind of dumbed down a little bit in that way. I would rather my kids be copying great works of art or Bible verses, things like that, and then chunking. And so I love that philosophy and that learning style. I just don't love the way that it continues to go. Then there's E, let's see, that looks like American Spirit, and F is ancient achievements. So it does progress in the topic, but it's just, it doesn't match up with enough of what I would be looking for in a spelling curriculum. I love that there's not a list. I love that it's in context. Love that it's visual, but I think it's lacking some things. At this homeschool convention, I was also introduced to Play and Talk, and Amy was there representing. Amy loves this curriculum. She actually owns it now. It is a curriculum, though, that she grew up with, and if you like an old school way of learning with cute little riddles and images, you might really love this curriculum. Now, it teaches some of the rules in riddle, like this one. When the first vowel must speak out, the second vowel knows it cannot shout. It's only there to watch and tell if you can sound the first vowel well. And then it moves on to the next page, which has the some of the examples of these when two vowels are together. The first one says its name. These are so cute. They are a little old school, so you are going to get words that are no longer used with the same meaning. And there is song. So actually, okay, one thing that's really cool, this comes with audio. So all of these lessons are on audio. You're just gonna click on it, let your kid listen to it, maybe show them, maybe not. There is a teacher's manual that tells you exactly what to do for each lesson. So in that way, it's a bit open and go. You're going to do something with them, they're gonna go play, then they're going to come back and do like one of these manipulatives that are offered with it. And Amy showed me all of these things there at the convention. There's like a bingo and this thing that you pull the strip through to create different words. There's also this typing component where you put these rings on your fingers and the stickers on your computer so they know what fingers are supposed to go to what keys. And this is an all-inclusive curriculum. Once you own it, you have all of the spelling and reading curriculum you need for all of your children, and you can actually use it for like a co-op too. You can use it with more people. Once you own it, and you get to decide what to do with it. I think that's pretty cool. You have these smaller books of riddles and rhymes that you're gonna start off with your kids. Then you progress into some of these bigger books that have the list of words and the rules that go with them. For what rules there are. There's not as many rules in here as some other spelling programs, but those are there. All of these extra add-ons, and there is this chart. There's two charts, one for how to handwrite the letters, and then one for knowing the sounds that your letters make. But this is a con for me for the curriculum. I really enjoy quite a bit about this curriculum. I think it's really cute. It's kind of like your ideal, we're going to sit down and do our language arts and it's gonna be so sweet. And this is like a sweet program, and I know that they're working on updating some of the images also and adding color into some of that. But this seems to be consistent throughout it, and it is the way that the letters are pronounced. B says B, B-U-H. C says K, C-U-H. R says E-R. R doesn't say it says R. That is a rat, not a at. And that matters for at the end of a word, when you hear and you're trying to spell it, you might just write an R. But that's not how it goes. It's E-R in that situation because R says R. B doesn't say B, it says B. like it's just like your lips. Same with P. G says G and J. It doesn't just say G. So let's move on to a curriculum that uses that approach. All About Spelling. All About Spelling gives you an amazing education for spelling. I have learned so much from this curriculum. Some of it, yeah, I think, wow, they're teaching this to kids early on in spelling. But you know what? My kids can handle it. Kids are really smart. And when you give them everything they need to know from the beginning, they are empowered to be able to figure things out in the long run. So first, you are going to start, and the lessons are super simple. It really is open and go. You will just open it up, determine which phonograms need to be taught through cards 1 through 26. Show your student the front side of card 2. That's B. Most letters have one sound. For example, the letter B says B. B. I'll admit, it's hard not to say B, but there's a difference when you're showing it to kids. Return the card to the back. Show your student the front side of card 1. This card says A, as in apple, A as in acorn, as in water. Like, this is going to equip your children well for spelling because they know what their other options are. Then they're going to be given rules eventually for when to use these. Yes, there is a list of spelling words and you have those here, but at the end, so you're really just doing these short little segments each day, moving along as you need to, not moving further until your children know all the letters and all the sound possibilities that they make. Then you're going to be putting those together. You can use these little dots to segment the words within the sounds there, and that is super helpful. You're going to, at the end, dictate for them. Here in the beginning, it's very simple. They're just using those to pull down the letters as they spell them, but it's not like a written test. They are just telling you verbally what it is. You could write it also. As you progress later on, you're going to be dictating phrases to them. So like here on page 86, dictate a phrase, fell off, sit still. So now we're using these like spelling you see, we're putting them in a context and writing them and showing the importance of like how these words actually get used. But the most important part is the rules that are applied. So like every word has at least one vowel. So now they can check their words and see, do I have a vowel in it? The vowel in a closed syllable is usually, the answer is short. So for example, bed, B-E-D, bed, one syllable, short vowel sound. But if we take D off, then it's going to be an open syllable word. B, the E doesn't need anything to make it say E because it's at the end of a single syllable word that is open. What are two ways to make the K sound at the beginning of a word? C and K. Which letter should we try first? Well, you try a C first. And if it is followed by an E, I, or Y, you know it says S. So then it must be a K. But always try a C first. Names start with a capital letter. We're gonna practice syllables a lot, making sure that we can differentiate where the syllables are. CK is used only after a short vowel. That's helpful. CK is not an option for the beginning of the word because it is used only after a short vowel. These rules are so helpful, and this is just the very beginning of the rules for spelling. But I have learned so much in this. We're able to reference back to it. I honestly don't even use the curriculum with my youngest son anymore because I introduce these rules when we're doing our journaling or when he's doing his reading, and I don't need the curriculum anymore because it has just become part of our everyday talk. When our kids are writing in their journals, I can say, oh, actually that word there, what do you think is wrong with it? What are some of the rules that we know that we can use to correct this word? That is so helpful. You are giving them the ability to double check what they are doing or to think through how a word is spelled, not just visualizing it, not just having it memorized, but being able to actually troubleshoot. What are my options for this? What letters make this sound? What is the rule that goes along with it? I have thoroughly enjoyed all about spelling with my kids. It's open and go. It's very short lessons. Yes, there is that list in there, but we tend to use that then, like even a way to do it is to pick 3 of these words and create a story and go write about it in your journal. We're using it when we are reading and applying the rules there. So that is what we have chosen to use. I hope that this video was helpful. I really don't mean to put any curriculums down. I know people have different learning styles, different ways that work for them. Honestly, I have a son that the spelling you see would work super great for him. He doesn't need all the rules. Just tell him what it is and he knows. And so you might pick a curriculum like that. Coming from a background of struggling with dyslexia, I want to give my children this because it's what would have helped me, and I do see it working really well in the way that I teach them how to read too. And you can see that video here and other resources that we are using this upcoming school year here. Thanks so much for watching this video, you guys. I hope it was helpful. Bye.